Hey everyone, welcome to the Self-Agency Advocate podcast. I'm your host Amanda, and this is a space where we explore, discover, and share tools, techniques, and wisdom to help you build and maintain a sense of agency. Welcome. I'm so honored that you're here. Welcome to the first mini-sode is what I'm calling it. It's a mini episode. And these are more of just kind of my musings. This is a space that I get to deep dive into things that I'm really passionate about or I'm really curious about and I want to know more about. And it'll be a space where I can digest my learnings and kind of work through them or share my insights and knowledge and wisdom that I've gained from it. And yeah, it's just a space for, I guess, for me to talk, because that's what this is all about. A little bit of expression, a little bit of getting things out there to spark some ideas or spark some creativity or conversations. And you'll also be getting so many interviews with people who inspire me about topics that are big and fascinating and that we need to dissect and get more variety and other people's opinions or beliefs or learnings so that we can reach a broader range of people, because we're not always going to think the same way or things aren't going to land the same way. So let the community and the conversation begin. This is a topic that's really, really important to me. It really changed the game. It switched how I not only interact with myself, but how I interact with literally every single person that I come into contact with and every experience that I'm faced with. And why I wanted to start with this is because it's something that I'm going to ask of you. And the topic is mindfulness. And while I don't necessarily love the word mindfulness, I think we've taken it and it's kind of taken on this kind of airy-fairy mentality. Like, people look at mindfulness and they instantly equate it with meditation, or they equate it with yoga or Buddhist philosophy, this, that, and the other, rather than taking it for what it is, rather than scaling it back to the actual meaning of it. What does it mean to be mindfully aware? What does it mean to have a mindfulness practice? And why I want to start with this is because as every single episode unfolds, or every single conversation starts to unravel and dig deeper and shed light on things, it's up to you to have a mindful awareness and be not only inquisitive, but to be open-minded and to have an awareness around what is true for you. Ask questions, not taking everything at face value and thinking everything is truth or fact, but really be mindful of the sensations that evoke within you or spark within you. Because if I say something, or if a co-host says something and it triggers you or it makes you feel uncertain or kind of off inside, there's something that doesn't align or doesn't resonate, this is the perfect opportunity for you to either ask questions, Google, ask your friends, talk to people, get curious about why it doesn't resonate, why it doesn't land. But also ask yourself, is this a preconceived notion that I have? Is this a stuck pattern or belief that I have on this topic? And hearing the other side of it is making me feel really uncomfortable. Because that's an opportunity, a growth opportunity really, for you to get curious and say, okay, why do I feel so uncomfortable with this? Vice versa, if something like ignites you to your core and you're like, hell yes, love everything about that. Okay, do something with that. Amazing. Hang on to it and make it your own. Explore it, research it. Again, talk to friends and family and mentors and whoever, but find out why it's igniting you. Why does it make you feel so passionate and so excited? And what are you going to do with it? That's the exciting part. What are you going to do? How are you going to share this with others? So coming back to mindfulness, when we look at mindfulness versus meditation, we look at meditation as I am doing meditation. I'm sitting or I'm laying down or standing. It can be dynamic, it can have movement, whether it's walking or dynamic meditation. But I don't want to say action, but it is the doing of meditation. It's the awareness and discipline and dedication to be present with something. But a lot of the time it's like presence on the breath or a mantra or chanting or the dynamic movement, like we said. There's like hundreds of different styles and types of meditation. There's mindfulness meditation, which is basically where we're going to jump off from this and go into that side, and then we'll get into the real meaning of mindfulness. When we look at mindfulness meditation, it's really the crossing point or the apex point of mindfulness and meditation coming together. Mindfulness is simply paying attention. Simple as that. You just pay attention. You notice, you observe, you get, again, that word curious keeps coming up. When we're mindful of something, when we're aware, we get to take a step back and kind of a bird's eye view and really watch what's unfolding and watch what's happening. And then when we get into the mindfulness meditation, this is the side where we can sit in meditation and become mindfully aware of our experience. So whether it's becoming mindfully aware of the breath, the physical sensations, the thoughts that are occurring and floating in and out, but without engagement. So we're not attaching to them, we're not interacting with them, we're simply observing. It's like shining a flashlight on all that's going on within, but you're the one holding the flashlight. You're not in the mix of it. You're not under the light of the flashlight. You're holding the flashlight and looking at everything that's occurring. So, long-winded way to kind of tell you a little bit more about what these mean or what they mean to me and how I've taken them over the years in my own practice. But I hope you start to see how it all links together. So to summarize or bring it all together, you are meditating and you are in the motion or the activity, the practice of it. You're doing the meditation. It's an action. Whereas you can say, I am mindful. I am experiencing mindfulness. I am taking that observatory role and watching what's unfolding. So why this mindfulness topic is so important to me and why I say it's so transformational, why it really is the epitome of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to get across is it's the most simple tool that we have in our toolkit that we can take into every single interaction with others and with ourselves. We can take it into every event, every experience, every single thing. We have it in the moment. It is the moment. And that's the most beautiful part because it allows us the grace and the pause to be able to choose if we're going to react to something or if we're going to respond to it and how we're going to respond to it. So in the moment, if you feel, like I said earlier, if you have that kind of a little bit of a triggered response and you're like, whoa, that really doesn't sit right, that makes me feel XYZ, you can react and say, this is stupid, I want no part of this, she doesn't know what she's talking about, he doesn't know what he's talking about, whatever. Or you can become mindfully aware and shine a light inside and be like, ooh, what is happening? Why does that trigger me? Why do I feel so enraged or frustrated or annoyed with this? What is this feeling trying to tell me? Because every feeling is a message. It's a signal to you. It's trying to get your attention and say, hey, here's what you need to know about this. It's up to you to listen. It's up to you to hear that message and say, okay, I feel you. I see you. I can tell that I'm annoyed or whatever right now. What am I going to do with this? Rather than emotionally react and come from a place of, there's no better way to say it than emotionally react. So emotionally react, versus taking a breath and checking in and saying, how can I mindfully respond from a place of wisdom? This is making me feel all of these negative emotions, thoughts, feelings, whatever. But can I compassionately communicate this? Can I choose to take a step back and pause and ruminate and reflect and get a little more inquisitive about why this is happening and what it is I want to do about it? And you can also have the choice to be open-minded and say, hey, help me understand, because that made me feel really uncomfortable, but I'm really curious to know as to where you're coming from. Why did you say what you said? Let's have a conversation and an open dialogue about this. Likewise, you can be so mindfully aware of the moments that make you feel joyful and elated and excited and driven and passionate and all of these amazing experiences, emotions, thoughts, whatever. And you can choose what you do with that. You can choose to simply savor the moment and let nothing distract you from it and be so fully present and fully embody that moment and let it sink in at a cellular level. You can choose to, again, ask questions about it. Why does this thing ignite me? Why does this word excite me? Do I want to keep researching it? Do I want to go further? Do I want to have conversations with people and maybe shout this knowledge from the rooftop and get everyone as excited as I am? What are you going to do with these thoughts, feelings, and emotions? And it's that space of mindfulness that allows us to control how we respond. It gives us the time to really reflect and then choose from a place of mindfulness how we want to go forward and how we want to blaze that path and notice the things that maybe aren't quite a good look. You know, we have all got those things where we're like, ooh, that wasn't a pretty reaction. What just happened there? And then we can choose to change it and say, okay, I actually don't want to respond like that. I don't want to be quick to anger or so easily irritable and frustrated. What can I do next? Where are the next steps? How can I adjust this and actually get to the bottom of it and address it? So I hope this gives you a little bit more insight on not only that subtle difference between meditation and mindfulness, but it helps you see a little bit more of why it's so important and how it's not just a yoga practice. It's not just a Buddhist philosophy. There's so much more to it. It's something that is within all of us. It's accessible to all of us. And it's so transformational. It will change the way that you interact with yourself, with others, and every experience you have. It's in the research. Go look it up. You'll find it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. And if there's anything at all that you want to explore or you have ideas about and want to get into, please drop me a line. You can find us at The Self-Agency Advocate on both Facebook and Instagram, and I would absolutely love to chat, so let's connect.